and welcome back to another episode of The Zone TV Movie Entertainment. Now I get to continue with my Captain America sequel now with The Winter Soldier. Now this is the sequel to The Winter Soldier. This movie came out basically after maybe the first Avengers movie, directed by the Russo brothers. And now we see Tony. Wow. See, I already got Civil War in my mind already. So now we see Steve Rogers. He's in the modern day, and now he's trying to, fit in a way, trying to catch up to things that he missed over the decade. Because remember, he's been gone for 75 years. He's been frozen 75 years. So now he's trying to, get too accustomed to this entire new world. Because when he first came to the new world, he had to get back into action because of the whole Avengers situation. And now he's starting to work with the Shield. Obviously, he's working with Nick Fury and Shield and Black Widow, and they're doing their thing. He's having fun to be able to be Captain America and be able to be Steve Rogers, be a soldier and take orders and do missions. And then he starts to notice certain things are not going right with Shield. They're just talking about how they want to build certain big weapons, and like I said before, spoilers here if you've never seen the movie, so I might as well keep quiet and watch it later. But anyway, so now he starts to notice that S.H.I.E.L.D. are building defenses to protect the world, big weapons, and Captain America's like, I don't buy this, until he finds out that all this new stuff that's going on inside of S.H.I.E.L.D. is really the work of Hydra. Hydra's been hiding inside S.H.I.E.L.D. for years, and they wanted to take it out from the inside so they can rule humanity. And not only that, he's got to deal with a new threat that just appeared in the Winter Soldier. And the Winter Soldier is basically this assassin who comes out of nowhere. He goes into the shadows, he takes out his targets, and he disappears. Nobody knows who he is. So now he needs to figure out what's going on with S.H.I.E.L.D. Who he can't trust anybody because S.H.I.E.L.D. agents could be Hydra agents. He has no idea. And then he finds out that this particular soldier was his best friend, Bucky Barnes, who's apparently survived his injuries and came back. Because in the end event of the original movie, he died. Supposedly. He fell off the train, but Hydra found him, fixed him up, wiped his memory clean, and basically became their version of the super soldier. He's got a metal robotic arm that's pretty strong, very strong metal. It's not vibranium metal, but it's pretty strong in its own way. And Sebastian Stan playing the Winter Soldier was awesome. He was menacing, he was creepy at some points. He just kicked ass in a whole bunch of different ways. He was like the perfect Russian soldier if you want to look at it that way. The anti-soldier to Captain America. Great opponent, equal in every right to Captain America. And even Scarlett Johansson's in this movie, and she did her part. She was also turned because she didn't know who to trust either in, S.H.I.E.L.D. And, a lot of things broke down. S.H.I.E.L.D. was basically dismantled. But yeah, I really, really like this movie. This movie had so much action in it. It kept me in my seat the entire time because it wasn't like, when you have a movie and, there's a lot of talking and then you're like wondering where's the action and, the story intrigues you because this is a political thriller. So even you watching the movie, you're like, oh, wait, is this guy part of S.H.I.E.L.D. or is he Hydra? You're playing along with the movie itself, trying to think in your mind, who's good, who's evil, you know what I mean? And top of all that, you have new characters also in this movie. Like I said, you got the Winter Soldier, and then you had Anthony Mackie come into this movie as Falcon. Now, in the comic books, Falcon is one of Captain America's teammates, and he was awesome. The way he flew with his technology, because like I said, it's not like how in the DC world where, they have magic and all that stuff, and they try to make it realistic as much as they can. In this world, in the Marvel Universe, you have the technology where they can fly with jetpacks and all that stuff. So Falcon, he's got his, wings, in a way that's basically a suit that he wears. Not like an armor, like Iron Man suit, something like that, but it's like a kind of like a jetpack in a way, but it has the wings in the back. And he did a phenomenal job. He was one of my favorite parts of the movie besides the Winter Soldier. And, you know, every time I watch Chris Evans play Captain America, he just gets better and better every time he plays it. And even if he's not in his own movie or if he's in an Avenger movie, he still stands out to me as Captain America. Because, like I said, he steps it up even better, even further than he does in the previous movies. So, I just now cannot wait to see what he does in Civil War. But in the Winter Soldier, he knew what he had to do. He wanted to get his friend back, but he also knew he had to protect the country. Because, not only was Washington, it was basically in Washington, D.C., so he had to protect that place. But then again, he had to protect the world because, if he wouldn't have failed there, they wouldn't have gone to the rest of the world and wiped out everybody. So Hydra basically wanted to take out everybody who S.H.I.E.L.D. had on the list for either future Avengers or, anything, They mentioned, they had on one of the weapons that they created was like the helicarrier, but it was more of like, had more weapons to be able to wipe out anything they need. So they wanted to wipe out basically all the Avengers. They had Stark Tower there. It's just a great movie. I really enjoyed this movie a lot. Like I was saying, I feel that this is the best, in my opinion, standalone superhero movie for the Marvel Universe. In my opinion, it's still one of the best. Because it had action, it had a great story, it didn't feel flat in certain scenes. It didn't okay, you get into a good point and then you just stop. No, it didn't have that. It just continued. And it kept going. And I was intrigued when I saw the movie. And like I said, the action was awesome. The Russo brothers did a great job. And now I really cannot wait to see what they do with the next one, which is obviously Civil War. So yeah. Okay, so if I had to grade this movie, I'm going to give it a perfect 10 because honestly, I didn't think I had any problems with the movie at all. That's just me. You may have problems with the movie, but I personally thought at that time it didn't have problems. I watched it today, and you know what? It still doesn't have problems. I still don't have problems with it. But, like I said, right now is like my number 3 favorite Marvel movie right now in the Marvel Universe. Not counting the X-Men. But, yeah, in the Marvel Universe, this is number 3 for me right now. Because, I had, obviously, Ant-Man came out. And obviously, the Guardians came out. And obviously, Avengers is still going to be number 1 for me. But that's my opinion. That's just me. So, like I said, I think this movie's great. For what it is, it's a great, spy movie if you want to really look at it. It's basically a spy movie. With superheroes. But it's awesome. So, go check it out. Don't take my word for it. If you want to take my word for it, go ahead. But like I said, if you want to, think this movie is a piece of crap, that's your opinion. I respect it. But yeah, just go check it out because honestly, this movie is awesome. And like I said, it just pumps me up more to see the next one. So if you want to get into Civil War, you should just watch these 2 movies because I think there's certain elements of Civil War that were left off from Winter Soldier. So I think you should just check it out. Just so you're curious about the next movie. But yeah, there you go. That's what I think about this movie. I think it's great. I highly recommend it. And anybody should see it. And you know what? It's a great superhero film to date by itself. You know what? And also, even though this is a minor weakness if I had to give it to it. But I'm not going to give it to it because it's so minor. There is no reference to the other Avengers in this movie. Like, they pretend like the whole alien invasion didn't really happen. It doesn't go into it as much as like Iron Man 3 does, but it's so small that I'm not even gonna say that it's a problem in the movie. It's such a speck. It's like a little ant that you can just flick off you. You know what I mean? So yeah, I give it a 10. Go check it out and stay tuned for my next review. Hopefully, it's gonna be Civil War. So thank you and have a good day.